Alright, let it be known we're washing the area that we're going to paint. So we've got some soap, we're going to wash it, and then we'll rinse it off and we're going to let it dry. And then I think we'll prime it next. Alrighty guys, I'm going to be using Rust-Oleum primer. It's a sandable primer, and we're going to put this on first because this is what I have here. It's black. So we're going to do about 3 coats of priming, and we're going to sand with 400 grit in between. Looks better already. So the primer's on there. We're hitting it with a 400 grit in between coats. Looks good. We'll take off the dust and hit it again with primer. This is going to be the second coat of primer. We'll sand that again and repeat the process. Alrighty, we sanded one more time. Now we're doing our last coat of primer. I've been blowing it off with compressed air to get rid of the dust. So I think we'll let that sit, and then we'll come back with the top coat. Okay guys, I'm done with the priming. I'm not going to sand this last coat of primer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these masking papers and I'm just going to back them up a hair. You know, just so I get my any overspray, and I don't want it to leave a line here because I put on three coats of primer, so I might be starting to get a line. So I'm gonna move them back a little bit further just to prevent that from happening. Looks like we're going to need a little bit more masking paper. So I'm just going to take the time to do that. Alright guys, a little prep work right before I paint. First of all, there's a scratch here. This is actually plastic from my son's handlebar. So I just want to buff that thing out a little bit before I paint. And I'm not applying any wax, just using a wet paper towel. And that's just rubber from his handlebar on his tricycle or something. Good, that came out. I've also used the line on the truck to line up my masking tape. That way when I paint, if the color's a little different, it'll blend in with that line. I'm just knocking off all the dust here. Instead of using sandpaper, I'm just hitting this with a paper towel to knock off any texture left behind from the primer. And I think we're about ready to paint. Alright guys, so here we go. I didn't get this paint from a dealer, I got it from a paint store. It's a little cheaper that way, but it's probably not going to be an exact match. Also, my paint's faded on here. So, first thing I'm going to do is crawl underneath and get the really hard parts from the inside. That should be decent coverage there. Alright, that's the first real light coat. I'm going to do about probably 4 coats, and hopefully that should be enough coverage. Hopefully I won't get any drips. Who knows? I'm not a professional painter. So this paint I'm using is supposed to have a clear coat built into it. So I should just put this paint on and that should be it. So the finish looks a little duller than the rest of the truck. So let's try the second coat. So tempting to just want to keep spraying it, but I don't want to get any drips. So probably do about 2 more coats. I'm thinking 4 coats should be good. So here's where we're at, YouTubers. Finished up the painting and I still have newspaper around it. What I can tell is that the original gloss that's on this truck is a pretty high gloss, and this paint seems to have a pretty close color. I don't know if it's exact, but it's close enough. But it doesn't have quite the gloss that I want. So what I'm going to end up doing here is spraying over it with a clear coat gloss. So I'm waiting for the last coat, the third and final coat of the auto paint to dry, and then I'll go over it with a gloss, and we'll see how close it matches and peel away the paper. So we'll show you what it looks like. Alrighty guys, everything's all dry, so I'm going to hit it with a clear coat, trying to add a little bit of gloss to it. And I think we'll do that twice. And here's the second coat of the clear coat. Well, it looks like we have pretty good coverage. So we'll let that dry. We'll peel away the newspaper and we'll see what we got. Alrighty guys, so as you can see, the repair is complete. It's a little shinier over on the left side, not quite as shiny on the right. I kind of have a little bit of a line there about 6 inches back from the wheel well. I don't know, you know, there's an issue with not having the exact paint, and the clear coat didn't match exactly. I think this truck was repainted at one time, so it's, you know, who knows what the exact paint color is. So that's a look at the repair. You can see it turned out pretty good. One thing I should have done, I used this line here, which was a smart idea, to butt up the paint too, but I should have ran it all the way back to the wheel well, and I think it would have been a little bit better looking. But this is the first time I did a repair like this, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So I guess I'd recommend it if you were going to do some work like this for your own vehicle. So, in conclusion, am I happy with the repair? Yes. Number one, the truck's not going to rust there. I'm not going to get more of a hole in that panel. That's been rusting for about a year and a half. And when I sanded it, it actually broke all the way through. I didn't realize that there was actually a hole. I just thought the paint was starting to bubble. So, you know, if your car's bubbling up, you want to do something about it. It was a lot of work to make that repair. Took me the better part of a day, a lot of waiting for paint to dry and things like that, Bondo to dry. I think if I would have brought it to a shop, it probably would have cost me $250. That's just a guess. It would probably look a lot better if I brought it to a shop. As I said a little earlier, I probably should have painted that whole bottom part of the panel to help it blend a little bit. And also, it seems like as I kept sanding, my repair kept getting bigger and bigger. So I had, you know, I started out with a Bondo spot about 6 inches big, and it became about over a foot big when I was all done. So, am I happy I did it? Yes. I kind of enjoyed it. I've never done a repair like this. And is it real hard to do? No, it just takes some patience and a fair amount of prep work in order to get it right. And just so you know, the items that you actually need to do this type of repair are Bondo, which you can get in any automotive store. I just got a quart and I barely used even a third of it. And then I got automotive paint. You want to make sure you get the right paint. My truck's a 2001, so they don't make the paint for it anymore. But if you go to a good automotive paint shop, they can mix up the paint. This quart of paint costs probably about 20 bucks. It's actually a pint. But they also put it in spray cans. So they mix up a pint, and then you can get it made into a spray can, which is nice. So I have touch-up paint, and I also have some spray paint from that. And if you're not familiar with me, I'm Double Wide 6, and I have a whole bunch of repair videos, and I ask that you please join my channel and check out the other videos. Do a whole bunch of stuff: plumbing, electricity, small engine, and anything else going around at the house that I need to fix, I try and make a video about. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep it real.